welcome to Gemstone Tarot, Monday the 20th of October. Still tidying as I'm talking to you. Let's get a bit philosophical. Having a look in Michael Rosen's Almanac. Because I thought you might be interested in this, because I'm interested in this. It gives me an itchy nose. Synesthesia. It's not what you say, it's the way that you say it. Okay. Let's start with the idea that there isn't anything table-y about the word table. After all, Germans call it Tisch. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. In Japanese, it's Meja. Again, sorry. In other words, there is nothing essentially table-like about these words. Human beings have created sequences of sounds, phonemes, to signify stuff, ideas, feelings, processes, as well as grammatical words like to or the or would to help us to link the whole lot into meaningful sentences. But we say these sounds have nothing whatsoever to do with the things they describe. That's one theory. Ah, yes, but we make other sounds that have meaning, which are attempts to imitate the thing that they name, moo and splash and plonk and cough, onomatopoeia. And there are others that seem to mock this very attempt, like when we say ka-ching to mean he made a load of dosh out of that bit of work, with an implication there might have been something dodgy about it. Or what do you make of the word bling to mean flashy jewellery? Does the flashiness make you bling? Yes. This reminds us that sometimes the sounds of words seem to fit the thing they're describing without being directly onomatopoeic. Gosh, this is a lot for all of us to digest with our Rice Krispies, isn't it? Poets have been playing with this for centuries, alliteration and assonance, playing with the repetition of a consonant and a vowel sound through repetition. He's just explaining what that is. When we see things we wonder about or are amazed by, we often say, ah, such as, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Can we say that the R sound on the end of these two lines imitates the R sound in a southern British accent? There are thousands of examples from world literature where writers have tried to imitate whispering, rage, the sound of waves, wind, hateful thoughts, and much more. I think Charles Dickens does that quite a lot. At school we're told these words have the effect of indicating anger or sadness. We need to be cautious about it and talk about hints and possibilities, and often it turns on how the actor or the reader says the line. Gosh, there's a lot here. He's obviously feeling very verbose. When Macbeth says that tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps into this petty face from day to day. Oh my God, I've not heard that one, gives me an itchy ear. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty face from day to day. That's a Monday morning situation. An actor may or may not hit petty pace. Oh my God, it says pace, not face, you see? Or they may make a mistake like I did. I'm thinking of like maths face. And day to day, an intimation of the rhythm of one day after another like a metronome. Again, we can say that surely petty and pace and day or face aren't words that sound like the things they're describing. It's the patterning of words that gives us this hint of sound and meaning. That's very tidy. We've created some categories, but what if we look at patterns of language? What if we found clusters of sounds, phonemes, that seem to cluster around words with similar meanings? When we say the B sound at the beginning of a word, we close off the escape of air from our mouths, we activate our vocal folds, build a bit of pressure behind the apparatus blocking the escape, our lips, and release the whole lot in one go, lips open. The air travels over our vocal folds and bursts out to make the B. In fact, I use the word burst, which starts with the B. So does begin and bang. Wowzers. When I was about 10, we got an advertisement through the door that advertised Britain's biggest bunker bargain. and I walked around the house saying it over and over again. I'm glad it wasn't just me. The ad worked because it caught my attention. We didn't buy a bunker though, so why did the company string those B words together? Why did they think they could sell more coal bunkers by doing that? I guess it's catchy. The explosion of the B would tickle people's senses in some way. Could big have grown up to mean big because people wanted to express something big through the sound? Certainly big is a word that's easy to use if you want to catch somebody's attention. But it isn't a big word, and it doesn't always mean or sound like big. This is a lot more than I bargained for, people. I'm going to leave it there and let me know if you want the second half, because I find that really fascinating. But I realise you probably don't want me to do that for 10 minutes, or maybe you do, so let me know. Let's have some, because full disclosure, I can't find the Halloween Tarot. Every bloody year I do this. Every year I go, ooh, it's almost time to use my Halloween Tarot. And I'm all like, ooh, get the Halloween Tarot out, 3 of pumpkins, all that. And every year I can't find it. So I will make a bigger effort to find it this evening for tomorrow. So we are doing Seasons of the Witch Samhain Oracle because it's the closest thing I have, really. It's also good, but it's the closest thing I have to a seasonal deck. Okay, we had that the other day. Gosh. Oof. Itchy nose. Oh, hello. Oh, God. Oh, my God. It's a lot. This is Scorpio season-tastic. Yes, I know we're not in Scorpio season yet, but it's a foreshadowing if ever I saw one. Okay. First card we get is Third Harvest. Daughters of the woods, feel thy sacred swell with suppleness. Taste the gathering of honey's milk, filling your emptiness. Some of the writing on these cards is a bit dodgy, if you ask me. I'm just going to have a quick look at Third Harvest. I think this is alphabetical though, and it does have a very good book. Yeah, so let's look for T. Okay. Gathering, abundance and preparation. Okay, so they're talking about Samhain being a practical holiday, and people would have thought it's time to gather the crops because we're going into winter. So do you remember we talked about this the other day? If we stop thinking about this as like turnips and whatnot, and we think of this as gathering our own power, like by the time we get to Scorpio season we need to be prepared, because the other card we get, and I can only think of Sean Bean in Game of Thrones, winter is coming. The coming of winter. So it's preparation, yeah. It comes in lullabies deep within your mirrored flesh. It is time to lay your quivering chest upon the winter's coming. By heck. Okay, but you get the gist, okay? Winter is coming. Well, not for you Aussies, of course winter isn't coming. You're very lucky. I always feel really jealous of you at this point. But you probably feel the same when we're in spring. And I don't know what... let me know in the comments your equivalent of how you prepare for spring and summer, I suppose. So, thinking of it in terms of the Third Harvest, you're gathering. You're gathering your nuts, okay? Whether you're in winter, whether you're in spring, you're gathering your nuts like a squirrel does, burying them for later so you know where they're going to be and you're going to be prepared. We had the Nine of Pentacles many times, okay? Then we get grief because we're coming into Scorpio season, and also the long dark night of the soul. God, it is but a mere glimpse of nothingness, hidden away deep within the chambers of your morning, in the red clovers birthing lost illusion. It's giving me maths face, and it's not maths. Okay, there is a grief. Moving into winter is a bit like a grief, with the sort of the way things that freeze and they die off. and kind of, I mean, it's really miserable, but accepting we're another year older, you know, that, and sometimes I certainly get this about Christmas, although can I just say that you know, I'm not a huge fan of Christmas, but I have bought the Bon Maman Jam Advent Calendar. Yeah, and I will be featuring it on here. Oh yes, I will. Oh yes. So that makes me feel a bit better. But okay, we've got grief. We've also got haunted. Like, what are the things that have been swirling around since last end of the year? You know, since this time last year. And what needs to go? What do we need to let die off? I think that's a big thing. And then silence. There is a sweet pleasure in the nothingness stillness brings, a presence of self, fully embodied. I go with that one, and the writing isn't too mad on it either, so we can go with that. This is a time to gather ye nuts while ye may, and to make sure that you are equipped for what comes next in Scorpio season, whatever actual season you're in. And it's about being disciplined enough to prepare, but also emotionally disciplined enough to let go of what needs to be let go of, and to gather what needs to be gathered and hold it close, and the other things, let them die away. That was deep and meaningful. I'm going to go and have a lie down. I'll see you tomorrow. Namaste.